important thing that students need to know is that their project with research can change and grow into something else. Just because they're at step 4 in this process doesn't mean that they can't go back to step 2. So this is the process that I've come up with through some different research on research processes. And I felt that this is one that would be kid friendly and really help the kids understand the process. You can do this from start to finish, or you may want to jump into a specific step and teach students how to do a step, or you may take care of a few steps for them. The first step in the research process is your big ideas. This is where students will come up with their topic, they'll write questions they have about their topic, and they'll think about what their end result will be. In the research journal that you have, there's a list of different presentation topics. I know sometimes you already have something in mind, be it Google Slides, or it be a chatter pick, or an informational essay, and then you'll just tell them what that presentation style will be. This is also a great time to share any checklists or rubrics that you plan to have with your students. The earlier they know what to expect, the less frustration they have as they move through that research process. The next step is the brain dump, and this is where the students write down what they think they know. Everything that they think they know about the topic, they're just going to dump it onto the page. Maybe it's some questions, maybe it's ideas for their presentation, maybe it's fears, maybe it's things that they already know. Once they've done that, then they will go to the keyword stage. This is where they create a list of those words that will help them with their research. So for example, if you're doing a research project on changes in landform, then maybe they would list out keywords such as landforms or mesa, mountain, weathering, erosion. These are those words that are going to help them as they research. If you're doing animals, maybe it's the key things that you need, such as habitats and food. The next step is the shopping cart, and this is the step that I think helps a lot with the frustration. We don't go to the grocery store and get all the things to make hamburgers and then sit down in the grocery store and start cooking those hamburgers. We go get what we need and then we take it back to our house, and that's where we cook the meal. So think of this as like shopping for what you think you're going to use to make that dinner. So this is where students can go look at what books, articles, websites, people that they would interview, videos that they think they will use. And if you're doing the digital form of this research journal, all they have to do is copy and paste the links to those books, copy and paste the links to those articles, and copy and paste the links for those websites, and just put them there. And they don't have to do anything with it, but put it there. Once they've done that, then you're going to get to the note-taking. You go back to the classroom, or you find a spot in the library where they're going to read those things or watch those things that they put in their shopping cart. And here's where they're going to take those notes. They're going to put quotes around the words they copied exactly so they don't have to stress out and worry, were those my words or were there somebody else's words? On that page, there's also on the note-taking guide in the research journal, there's a little citation box. And it's really important that students cite the resource before they start taking those notes. That way they don't have to stress out. And I'll show you some quick ways to help them do this. It's not as difficult and hard as it used to be for us when you were citing resources. So even kindergarten and first grade can go through and get in the habit of citing their sources. So I like to have them cite the source in that box and then take notes from that source on that page, and then do another notes page for their next resource. Once they've gotten through all that, then they can go through and organize and publish. How will you organize the information you gathered in a way that others can read and understand? Or maybe they're going to view it and understand it. And I try to tell the students that either using colored pencils or using different colors for what they've typed maybe your first paragraph or your opening slide will be in green, and then the next paragraph or next slide will be red. And that will kind of help them with the colors organize what's going to go in each spot. And then the last page in the journal, but the last step is to evaluate. Did your research meet your personal or required goals? And maybe they'll evaluate using your rubric or checklist before they turn it in, but maybe after they present it, they're going to go back and evaluate, or maybe they'll use that tool to evaluate others and then go back and revise it and make it even better. So those are the steps that are there. I do want to show you very quickly with citing sources. There are so many little tools, but if you go to the Paris homepage, and if you go to Media Center and just hover, you'll go to Online Catalog. For any book in the online catalog, you can get the citation for that. So let's say that you were going to use What If You Had Animal Teeth for your research. Right here it says share, so you could share a link to that title, but right here it says citation. And all they have to do is click, and there it is. They just have to copy and paste that into their research journal, or maybe you just want them to have a Google Doc that has those citations, and that's done. They've already organized it out. If you want a specific style, like you're in 5th grade and they're going to use APA, then you can click on the APA or the Chicago. It's up to you. But this is the MLA 8 is the first one that comes up, and that's what I've just been having them do. So for a book, it's super easy. All you have to do is click on the book, click the citation, copy and paste. That citation's already there, and they've said that's where they got their resource. Also, if you would like to go to Discus, Media Center, and hover, and you do Discus, and let's say that you have, I usually go to Discus Kids, and in this search box, let's say that you are doing habitats, and you're going to do caves. So when you get here, it's going to ask me for my login. Sorry, I'm doing it from my personal computer. Okay, good. I remember the password for this year. Okay, so if that ever happens to you, just email me. It's supposed to recognize the IP address. But let's say I wanted to do this, a cave under the earth. Now this will give me the view where you can play it. I also like this PDF full text version because it will look like the magazine. But if you come over here on this corner right here, it says Cite. And all you have to do is click on that, and then right there, the students just need to copy and paste, and it will give them the link and everything. So if they want to go back to the resource, it's already there, and they have that citation. So those are just a few quick things. If you're doing a website, you could just have them copy and paste the web address. That way you can access it to make sure that they have correct information. And I've really been trying to talk to the students about having more than one resource so that if the information is incorrect, they have something to evaluate. Well, this one says one thing, this one says another thing, and that will just give you that ability to do that. So as you go into the other links, you will find a copy of the research journal. I have a digital copy where they can just type in their information and you can put it in their Google Classroom. It will force you to make a copy. So when you click on it, it will say make a copy. That way everybody's not editing the same document. If you want to do that for your students and you don't know how to force them to make a copy, come see me and I will show you. It's super easy. You can also Google how to force a copy for Google Drive. And then you'll also find a copy of the posters in case you wanted to do those. You could put those up kind of like your writing process posters, so students could just kind of put a clip or whatever as to where they are in the research process. So those are just there if you want them. There's also a copy of my lesson plans that are very generic that you could go through and add your own information in there as well. So I hope those are helpful, and thank you.